Hey, happy 5th of July. It's still a holiday, kind of, because it's Friday. How you guys doing? Mr. H hanging out here with you on this Friday. What more do you need, man? You got history, you got dinosaurs, you got football. Big deal. The rest of the world just fades away because we got the holy trinity of everything you need. So, 4th of July, did you have fun watching some fireworks? I didn't see that many this year, but I don't know, I might have missed it. I remember 3, 4 years ago, there were tons of them just all over the place. I don't know, maybe they cost more. Maybe people went out of town because it's almost a weekend, that sort of thing. But hey, I still had fun with it. Had a traditional 4th of July pizza, and that was about it, right? So, 4th of July, big day, American history, obviously, right? And it shows up every now and again. But George Washington, we didn't always like the 4th of July. Now, before 1776, pretty bad day. After he got through shooting the French leader Juman Glen and starting the 7 Years' War, he retreated over to Fort Necessity. And on July 3rd, the French laid siege to Fort Necessity. And as you can tell, this was not, we're very well constructed. By July the 4th, he had to surrender. He signed a surrender document in French, a language he doesn't understand, and admitting he had killed the French leader and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, it was a really bad day for George. I got a feeling he didn't like the 4th of July too much until a few years later when, hey, the 4th of July we all know and love, right? Everybody signed that thing, and John Hancock put his signature so George III couldn't miss it. Not even sure George III could even read, but nonetheless, there it is, the 4th of July we all know and love. It was in Philadelphia, so I'm not sure if there any fighting broke loose afterwards. Not sure any hot dogs or hamburgers, but hey, a great time was had by all. On July the 4th, 1826, Thomas Jefferson, third president of the United States, and John Adams, second president of the United States, both died on the same day. How patriotic is that? You think someone might have fudged the records there a little bit? Start to wonder. These guys were close friends before they went into politics, and then went into politics. And John Adams over here was the Federalist, and Thomas Jefferson the Democratic Republican, and they hated each other. Politics does weird stuff to people. They're best of friends, go into politics, they hate each other, second president, third president, and then after they got out of politics, they became friends again and even died on the same day. I mean, wow, really good friends. Can't admit, decide to leave at the same time, huh? Only missed by a couple hours. Well, 18th century, 19th century paperwork, right? July the 4th, 1863, over at Gettysburg. Yeah, they just finished up Pickett's charge. They're waiting, and then the 4th of July, they're waiting, and they're waiting, and the Army of Northern Virginia has decided to leave. And as they're waiting, they found out that Vicksburg surrendered on the 4th of July, in the middle of a bloody, vicious, nasty civil war, and you get a nice 4th of July present. And yes, I'm sure Grant made sure they surrendered on the 4th of July. I would have done the same thing. It's great PR. Grab what you can in the 19th century. Hey, the official end of the Philippine War. Yeah, it's one of these wars, kind of a forgotten kind of war. They talk about Korea being a forgotten war. How about the Philippines? After we knocked Spain out, we took over the Philippines and weren't sure what to do with it, right? We're after Manila. And the President McKinley, he stayed up all night. What do I do with the Philippines? And he fell to his knees. Lord, what do I do? And then he said God told him to uplift and Christianize the Filipinos. All right. You do realize that like 70% of them are Catholic, right? Okay, so it looks like you got most of the Christianized part done. Uplift, see how it goes. But 4th of July, and then the Filipinos, of course, didn't really like that, and there's an all-out war. Now we couldn't just turn around and leave the Philippines because you had German and Japanese ships circling outside Manila like sharks. The minute the U.S. leaves, they're coming in. So I guess they felt kind of compelled to let the Philippines develop under American tutelage into an independent nation. And Filipinos thought otherwise, and so we've got an all-out war breaking loose. It's kind of a precursor to Vietnam. This thing got pretty bad. Same sort of search and destroy missions, villages getting destroyed, 4,200 Americans die, somewhere between 10,000 and 20,000 Filipinos, maybe even more. Records are kind of sketchy. So it ends on July the 4th, officially. President Roosevelt said it was officially over. Just because it's officially over. Sounds great in D.C., but on the ground, it's a little bit of a different story. They went down to the south part of the Philippines where even the Spanish never had full control, and they ran it. Had the Moro Rebellion from 1906, 1913. You see this picture all the time. Yeah, those are Marines, and they had a serious battle there. 1911, the Colt 45. That thing was invented for this game, for this battle, for this war. You knock somebody, hit somebody with this thing, they're not getting up, man. 45. So this particular battle of Bagsak, was more of a massacre. I mean, U.S. lost 14, and they killed basically the entire tribe they were fighting, something along the lines of 800, they think. They're still not even sure. Well, they finally managed to end the revolt in 1913, not because the Marines crushed them, but because they sent a civilian as the colonial administrator, a guy named Frank Carpenter, and he met with the people who were left, and they worked out a deal. We leave you alone, you pay your taxes on time, that kind of thing. I wish they could have avoided the whole massacre, but hey, welcome to the study of history. Hey, July 4th, 1986, the centennial of the Statue of Liberty. Oh, yeah, wasn't that a great event? Barely remember that one. But anyway, so, they fixed up the Statue of Liberty, been there 100 years. They said they were restoring it. I would have liked to have seen it look like a shiny penny. That would have been really awesome. But everybody had a big party that day on July the 4th, 1986. Hey, July the 4th, 2008, over here at Mr. H's house, we had our own tradition born. Yeah, we started shouting, freedom, 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 oi, 3 times at dawn. That's a little tradition we started over here. We do it on July 4th at dawn, at noon, and at dusk. Okay, it's crazy. Well, what do you expect? It's what we do here. Also, July the 4th, 2024, Great Britain is having its election. The UK say goodbye to Rooney Sunak. The Conservatives are going to get crushed, man. Well, they've been there about, 14 years, 15, done a terrible job. You're going to lose, man. I don't know why he thinks he has any chance of winning. Do the world a favor. Pack everything up out of 10 Downing Street and have it out by Monday. Sounds okay. Great time to start over again. Now, if you're looking for a unique sort of July 4th tradition, hey, here's one for you. You can buy my book, Heaven Steel. It's on Lulu.com, but it's starting to circulate to other places. Yeah, buy it today. Have your own 4th of July-ish tradition. You can read it by the light of the fireworks that you're going to see all weekend because, 4th of July is on a Thursday. You can read it by the light of the burn barrel with bums horribly singing off-key. Yep, down in Lawrenceville, still see that kind of thing. Best of all, Mr. H gets $1. So buy it now. What are you waiting for? Get on it now. Hey, let's talk about Gallimimus today. Yeah, Gallimimus, I'm sorry. Who's he? He's the guy who got eaten in Jurassic Park. Yeah, everyone says Mr. H has a tendency to fixate on predators and meat eaters all the time. I do have that tendency, yeah. So I decided to go with a plant eater. And here's the guy everybody sees but doesn't know his name, Gallimimus. The holotype skeleton is over in London. It was discovered in Mongolia in 1972, surprisingly intact, so we know a lot about this guy. So they put it together, and it's in London. Mongolia wants it back. They send a protest every now and again, and, well, it's still in London, so it tells you how that's going. Got some pictures. Got a really good idea what it looked like. Got the old scales versus feathers debate going on. Looks a lot like an ostrich, doesn't it? And on this side, with the feathers, looks kind of like a turkey. This might be why T-Rex like to eat these things. Well, anyway, I'm not really sure if T-Rex ate this because all the skeletons we found have been in Mongolia. So, Jurassic Park might not have been accurate considering they're also both Cretaceous animals. However, if T-Rex didn't eat this thing, his cousin Tarbosaurus did. So, got half a win out of that for the meat eaters. Pretty big guy. About 6 feet, a little bit over, about 20 feet long. Some people have posited it's larger because of the footprints they found and, trying to calculate the stride, how big this thing might be. This is probably why T-Rex picked it out. It looks pretty meaty. It's about 900 pounds, so that's a good snack right there. Did they move in herds or flocks? I like to say flock. It just seems to sound better. We got the feathered flock over there in Mongolia. Yeah, I went out of the way to say that. And of course, the scene from Jurassic Park. They found the footprints, and there are a lot of footprints of different animals heading in the same direction. Usually means a herd or flock. So, yeah, I think they got that part right. It's good against defense against predators as well. Maybe the huge mass of moving bodies, scares them, or maybe if you got a whole bunch of people together, it gives the predator something else to attack. Usually the guy in the back, the slow one. That's just how it goes out in Mother Nature, man. Now, the UFL, United Football League, had a great season. I thought of and a great, got to work on the attendance, but yeah, all hail the Birmingham Stallions, third year in a row, spring football. The USFL and the XFL combined to the UFL, so they had their season. But long ago, far away, 2009, there was another United Football League playing in the fall, not going toe-to-toe with the NFL. They called themselves a complement to the NFL. So I always call this the OG UFL. Ran from 2009 to 2012. Got off to a good start, and just everything, the wheels came off by the third year. I don't know what happened. Well, they stopped paying people's bills, so that's probably what, contributed to the whole league being destroyed. But started off pretty good. They had a soft launch in 2009 because the entire economy had taken a, shall we say, header. And their first championship game, the Las Vegas Locos over there in gray, defeated the Florida Tuskers 20-17 in overtime. I remember watching that game. Great game, high quality football. As you can see, the crowds weren't that great. 14,000 to that game. 2010, hey, everybody decided to start wearing their own uniforms. That first game was in Vegas. This game was at Johnny Rosenblatt Stadium. And it was a really good one, 23-20. I really enjoyed watching this one. There was a little bit of controversy at the end there with pass interference. I think they missed it, and it probably cost Florida the game. But everybody had a great time. Sellout crowd of close to 30,000 people. I thought the UFL was on its way to becoming permanent. And everything fell apart into between 2010 and 2011. They got rid of teams. Florida became the Virginia Destroyers. They're playing over there near Norfolk. And the season got truncated. They had a soft launch in 2009 with 6 games. And in 2010, they're up to 8 games. In my opinion, you need 10 games to be legit. So 2010, they're getting closer. And in 2011, they suddenly truncate the season with no warning, 4 games into the year. So and then they have this quickly, hastily put together championship game over there in Virginia, and in this really weird looking high school stadium, and didn't even have it broadcast on this weird internet provider called the Beetle or something. And I couldn't even find it. And some people said it kept going in and out, and the optics of this game was terrible as well. I mean, they were playing it at night. It looked like a high school game here with the trees here in the background, and look at this turf at night. So what I did see some clips of the game later. I mean, it's hard to watch with that surface shining back at you. But anyway, Virginia won this thing. The Destroyers, they were basically had been moved up from Florida. So it was almost a Vegas, Florida rematch here. See this guy here, Chris Geisen? This guy played in a lot of leagues, dude. I traced his career there. He played in NFL Europe. He played here in the UFL, played for the Cowboys, played arena football. I mean, this guy got around. He should really write a book. And in 2012, they never had one. Yep, if you're looking for an MVP for the UFL Championship in 2012, it's probably some lawyer. Like I said, they stopped paying the bills. People got mad. People started suing. You gotta, people work, you gotta pay, Fought a war over this. And it was the strangest thing. The guy who owned the Locals, Hembrick, got taken to court. He had to pay everything. I got a contract. I don't know why he thought he's a billionaire. I mean, really, he could have paid these guys with the money he found underneath the couch or something. But it all degenerated into lawsuits, and they stopped the season 3 games in because nobody's getting paid. You play one game, okay, it's coming next week, and the second week you don't see the money. No one's showing up for week 3, and they were canceling games because they didn't have enough players. They even had 600 people show up at one game. had to cancel that, and so they're going to refund people, and it never happened. So lucky to have a riot in the middle of Vegas over there. So it started off good, fell apart, got worse, and they mercifully put it down. Now this new edition of the UFL seems to be a lot better. So I hope it lasts forever, and I think it's going to be great. And I think football as a year-round sport can actually work. So I'm still talking. Let's not make this a year-round broadcast. You guys have a great day, and I will see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out my book, Heaven Steel, and Das Vidanya.